me start with you. You know, the fundamental issue with what has happened is, regardless of where it is and what the situation in that state is, that fundamentally the nature of men to use women as some sort of retribution, no matter what the clashes are, no matter who the communities are and where it is happening, has once again come to light. And that's the most horrific aspect of this crime and this video, that women always become collateral in these fights and are used as a means of retribution against communities.
We have no words. We have absolutely no words at what is happening. But this is also not the first time that the bodies of women of Manipur have been used in these conflicts. Several years ago, Thangjam Manorama was shot 7 times in a private part to destroy evidence of rape. Mm-hmm. It also happened with Valley Rose in 1970s when counterinsurgency started. Women's bodies have been used repeatedly time and again for wars that the men are fighting in Manipur as well as across the Northeast. We are tired of this. We are absolutely, the whole country should hang our heads in shame at what has happened. For the last 76 days, we have tried to ensure that peace returns to Manipur, but no one has been listening to us. It took once again the tragedy of our mothers, our sisters, who were paraded naked and sexually assaulted by a mob to wake the country up. Will it take a woman's body, a woman's life to be sacrificed? Every time we need the community and the country to wake up is a question that we are asking. The government at the state and at the center have actually failed in its responsibility. The people of India have also failed in our collective responsibility to address the Manipur issue and the Northeast issue, because for the last several years, we have been asking as women's groups from the Northeast, but our voices were not listened to. Irom Sharmila fasted for 16 years to ask that this impunity that is provided to anyone, public, ordinary people, armed forces personnel, there should be stopped, and accountability as the world's largest democracy.
Yes.
This has not been followed repeatedly, and as a result today, the tragedy that we're seeing on the bodies of our women of Manipur shows that this war has gone beyond what is called, that humanity has died 1 million deaths in our country. It has died 1 million deaths, and it is important that the safety and security of the kuki-zo women and of all women of Manipur and women across this northeast of India who has been subjected to repeated violence, this is stopped. The perpetrators should be punished, and those are responsible for letting the law and order degenerate continuously since 3rd of May. They should take responsibility and resign themselves.
I want to ask you one follow-up.
And will continue to remain vigilant over the next steps to be done by the authorities.
I want to ask you one follow-up. Yes, I know that there has been a long-standing issue in Manipur, but fundamentally on this particular conflict that started in late April, you said the governments have failed. Are you saying that they haven't done enough to try and control the situation? They may have failed to control the situation, but have they tried enough? Or you feel they haven't even done what needed to be done?
The Gujarat riots was brought down in 3 days. The Delhi riots was brought down in 11 days. Who is allowing Manipur to burn, 3.3 million people, to burn in Manipur for the last 76 days non-stop is a question that the Prime Minister of India must now reply to each and every Manipuri, to each and every community which has been affected in this conflict. It has led two communities who have never fought in the history of Manipur to kill each other. What is the level of governance which has reduced, which has made sisters against sisters, brothers against brothers, people against people do this to each other? This kind of governance is not governance. It is a slow genocide committed deliberately on the lives and the bodies of the women and men of Manipur. The government of India and the Prime Minister must hold responsibility. It must immediately stop. Get the warring parties to a peace talks, ensure that women are in these peace talks and negotiations, and get this violence to stop right now.
Okay. Fair enough. I do know that there has been a committee formed by the government to kind of bring, to initiate peace talks. What is the result of that and why is that proving to be so difficult is a question I'll ask later. But Rami Niranjan Desai, I want to come to you as well. I don't want to get mired in the politics of the day because I know that, this is affecting us at a plane which is not political alone, and we will not achieve much if we just harp on the politics alone. And yes, Manipur has a long history of these conflicts or the reason for this current conflict. But I want to understand from you, is there any justification that something like this happens? The police is aware. In fact, if you listen to the victims in this case, the police was the one that literally handed over these women to these culprits. Is there any justification that the state is waking up only after the video comes to light?
Good evening, Shivani. You've summed it up well. There isn't any justification. I don't think anybody can justify what we've seen. When I woke up in the morning, this was possibly one of the most horrific visuals to wake up to. Of course, I don't really support the fact that these visuals are out, because I think it takes away a certain amount of, dignity from, what humanity has come to. So, I may not be in favor of the circulation of this video or this video to come out, that too so strategically, because it's come out at a certain time that it doesn't seem that the intentions are right for this video to have come out at this point. But having said all of this, I condemn this act as any other civilized person would. But we also have to look at it in context, in societies in conflict, in violent situations. We always find that the vulnerable parties, women and children, are always impacted. I've been following this situation for a very long time, before the conflict broke out on the 3rd of May. And from at that point, I've been saying, this conflict, is between two communities. It's an ethnic conflict. It's not a communal conflict. But, conflicts like this are very, very difficult to solve. They're not that easy. Using heavy-handedness can have a backlash. Taking it too easy, can have a backlash. We've seen also civil society organizations, sometimes sadly so, women-led organizations that have led to sort of preventing the forces to do the work that they should be doing. I don't care which community, this video is from. Of course, my heart goes out to people. But, the fact of the matter is more videos are going to come out. This is only the beginning. And I fear that this is going to bring us back to a conflict situation that, we had seen tapering down in the last, at least in the last few weeks.
Okay.
And I think this is going to rile up emotions and maybe bring us back to the point that we don't want to be back at. So this, this is the kind of situation, Shivani, I've said right from the outset. Of course, we must hold up our state government accountable. We must ask for answers. We must question those who need to be questioned. But apart from that, civil society also needs to take this responsibility. If you remember right at the outset, some of the protest banners said, we want solution before peace. That can never be the way to move forward, because, once violence starts, once conflict starts, once emotions are flaring up, it's these kind of heinous crimes, it is these kind of miscreants and criminal-minded people that are going to come in the forefront. Where did this conflict start from, it being a land right issue or it being tensions between two communities? And look, where has it reached? It's reached to us discussing the safety of women in this country. And I hang my head in shame, and, the country hangs its head in shame. But, Shivani, the people who were around these women should hang their heads in shame. And it's not just the perpetrators, but all those 25, 30 people that we saw.
No, they're all perpetrators. Anybody who's part of that mob, who's walking along these women, they're all perpetrators. And I feel that parading people naked, whether it's a man or a child or a woman, parading anyone naked must attract the same sections as sexual assault and rape. Because the intention is exactly the same. It is used as a means to shame